White show. White show. Resident Evil story is, well, kind of a mess. As a fan of the older games and also reading all the books, which I actually enjoyed the majority of the stories, I can say that the story is definitely a mess, but a fun mess.
Never thought I'd find Chris Redfield wasting away in a shithole like this.
In this title, you play as Chris, Jake, or Leon. Each of them has their own separate story, but eventually will all collide. Sometimes they meet up, you'll learn a little about each other and what their mission is, and then all eventually end up together, or at least going after the same person. I will say that the chemistry for all their partners is pretty interesting. I think especially Jake and Sherry's relationship seems really real. Like, you actually feel for these characters, and you feel like they like each other, or, you know, as partners, not as fuck buddies. Maybe fuck buddies, I don't know. I guess because they all have, these two have the best voice acting in the game, in my opinion, and the best dialogue. So, I think they do a really good job, but all the partners in the game are actually interesting. The new C virus is the big threat of the game. This virus lets our favorite zombies, or undead, or monsters, or whatever the fuck they are now, use guns and take more bullets from your guns, because that's awesome. Because we didn't have enough trouble with just zombies, but make them fucking take bullets, why not? You also meet other big bad monsters, and yes, you will, you have guessed it, try to kill them before they fucking eat you or kill you or chop your head off, or whatever type of monster they are, they will do something horrible to your face. The three separate stories, topped by another story by Ada, who is behind the scenes character once again. There's a lot of story, and it's actually kind of interesting. It's a meaty story. Even if it's a messy story and it's silly, it's enjoyable because it's entertaining. You'll want to know what happens in the end, and it's especially fun watching all the characters get together on the screen and meet each other. It's just badassness.
I need to know.
Let me handle this.
When I was playing this game, right away I noticed it just didn't feel as like polished as something like Resident Evil 5 in the graphics, but at the same time it just tries so much more. Way more diversity in the environments is something to actually admire. Each and every chapter will lead a character to a new place entirely, from graveyards to cities to snowy areas to villages. It really is something to admire because the scope is huge. Saying that, the character models just don't feel nearly as polished as the last game, I'm sorry. Also, some awkward or stiff animations might annoy some people, especially some of the glitches come into play when you're trying to pull off finishers. It looks silly, like you're falling through stuff and all that stuff. Though I like to note that the monster design is pretty badass in this game for the most part. Some look ridiculous, you know what I'm talking about, the chainsaw, but some of the new monsters just look, wow, like freaky shit. Like, you want to shoot them in the face because if they get close to you, you might throw up on their face, if they have a face, because they might not, because they're not human, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Pretty sure this wasn't part of the contract. But I am willing to renegotiate.
Alright, so this is where people are obviously going to divide the most. Playing the demo, I really thought Resident Evil 6 was pretty much shit. But let's talk about the full game. Now that I've experienced each campaign and went through chapters, I can actually go through it. See, Resident Evil takes a little bit from Resident Evil 4 and 5. You give it a little bit of the Uncharted dose, give it a little bit of Call of Duty and SOCOM kind of dose, maybe a little bit of Gears of War stuck in the butt, and that's what you get. Resident Evil 6 is here. It's a jam-packed with so many ideas, so many gameplay sections, so much content, that it feels overwhelming far too much at times. Some ideas just shine through though, while others feel like they should have just been left out entirely. So, it's a third-person shooting game through all the campaigns. However, each campaign focuses on a different feel for the gameplay. Leon focuses on a mix of a few puzzles, you know, some shooting, and it definitely gives you the darkest vibe to it and the more of the atmosphere of Resident Evil like 4 and 5. Whereas Jake's campaign is a lot more adventure element to it. Doing some platforming, shooting, doing some kung fu moves to the bad guys. There's even some stealth in there and some chase scenes. Chris is just balls to walls, fuck out of here, boom, 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 action everywhere. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's Gears of War and Resident Evil. It's like Gears of War and Resident Evil had a baby, and they made Gears of Resident or Gears of Evil, which is the best though? Well, that's simply up to you. The shooting works, though it feels slightly off at times. I just can't describe it, but if you're going to try to be more of an action game, you expect it to feel more, I don't know, polished, I guess. The QuickTime events come in loads, which can be really annoying, and this is from a fan of QuickTime events. They just come when you least expect them, and 90% of the time, they fail. Wow, that sounded like horrible sex. But the point is that they just come at you, and you're just like, oh my god, and then you die. It's really annoying. I'd also like to say that some of the chase scenes and some of the stealth scenes are basically do right or just die. That's what it is. That's what they should be titled, because it's all trial and error. If you fuck up just a little, you're dead. It's kind of annoying. The game also feels stiff at times, like the movements and stuff, which is a shame because the melee is supposed to be more focused in this game, especially in Jake's campaign. Instead, you feel like you're hitting hair half the time. I just feel like it needed more polish, and just the feel of the movements, again, needed more polish. I'm telling you right now, Dead Space 2 felt more polished. That's not right. Saying that, the game gives you a lot of different types of gameplay, which is nice, because it never really gets boring. From the puzzles, the set pieces, the pure shooting, the balls-to-walls, chase, action, explosion scenes, the game just doesn't get boring. Simple as that. So while the game doesn't feel like Resident Evil much anymore, it also feels like a completely different beast. And it's not a bad one, it just feels like an experimental one.
Here goes nothing! There's always something with women!
This is definitely one of the harder games to review because it's just such a crazy game because of so many ideas, so much thrown into it. Heard there were 600 people working on the game, so it's really hard for me to just sit down and be like, this game sucks or this game's amazing. It really is, because it's not either of those. I did enjoy my time with Resident Evil 6, especially Jake's portion. Why? Because it had a little bit of everything, and I found his story to be the most interesting. Saying that, though, each campaign offers something different, so I really like that, because you get something different instead of just playing generic campaign, going through the same shit. It doesn't feel that way with any of these characters. Sure, not everything works. The camera is just batshit insane. I mean, I can't even. Some sections feel clunky and just not designed right. Graphics are on top of the line, and the story is a mess, let's be honest. Saying that, though, the gameplay is still fun. It's a lot of shit going on at once. The scope is huge and something to, again, admire. I mean, the game is huge. The story, it's the biggest Resident Evil, period. The story is silly but entertaining. The co-op feature's there and it's great again. Lots to unlock, lots to go through, lots to play, and if you enjoy the gameplay, you're going to get plenty of content, and you'll probably run through this game once, twice, maybe even 3 times to collect everything. Now, it's not a great game, but it is a good game. It's a beast in the fact that it tried so much, and I gotta give credit where credit is due. This is not Raccoon City, so I'm not sure where it's getting these 3s and 4s from. You must be out of your fucking mind. There's no way Jesus Christ, you've not played a fucking shit game. 3 and 4 are reserved for games like Raccoon City. Okay, games like Call of War Reds The Cartel, games like Iron Man 1 and 2, games like Thor. Okay, that's where 1, 2, 3, 4 ratings go. Games like Resident Evil 6, where they try new things, and sure, not everything works, do not deserve that. So I'm going to, Whitey the Reviewer, the one you're watching right now, is going to score to 7.5. Now, you might be like, 7.5, is that a good rating? It is a good rating. I believe it's a good game, and you should definitely try it. I just think it needed more time and more polish. That's all. So Resident Evil 6, you are 7.5. And I admire for what you did here. And I hope if you're going to continue this route, you just get a little bit more polish than you did on this title. Good job. Not great job. Good job. 600 people that worked on this game. Good job. If any of you are watching it, anybody else, pick up this game, try it out. I'm not saying buy it at full price. Maybe buy it when it's cheaper. But it's definitely worth checking out. It's something different, something new. A lot of shit going on. I liked it. Just wish it had a little bit more polish in the end. You know what I'm saying? Fuck Resident Evil Raccoon City. That game fucking sucked. Capcom, fuck you on that one. This one's not bad. Now just remember to take a moment to like, subscribe, and comment.
Thank you, guys.